In a world where dragons can fly with the power of flatulence, I think.
Okay, rolling.
Oh, it's been peaceful here in the 5 worlds, or is it 6? For a dragon's age. We now have 12,000 treasure, or is it 14,000? What about this Gnasty Gnorc character? Now, I understand he's found a magic spell to turn gems into warriors for his cause.
I'll take that question. Gnasty Gnorc is a simple creature. Simple! He has been contained in a remote world and is no threat to the Dragon Kingdom. No threat! Besides, he is ugly. Ugly? That does it!
No threat!
Looks like I've got some things to do.
Looks like you could be right about there. Anyway, let's begin by transitioning from the top of the screen down to the left, because it's cheaper than Pinnacle Studios transitions, and the adventure begins with golden text and ellipsis. Welcome to Spyro the Dragon. I'm your host, RC5665, and I've been waiting years to do this, so let's just run into this and crack Han Solo out of Carbonite. I mean, Nesquik out of Nestorian, I don't know.
Thank you for releasing me, Spyro. Free 10 dragons in the Artisan world. Then find the balloonist. He'll transport you to the next world.
What about Gnasty Gnorc? I'm going after him.
Find dragons first. That's all I can tell you.
But what if I don't wanna? Just go store my Nesquik in the cabinet, please. Anyway, welcome to Let's Play Spyro the Dragon. I already told you this, but basically, Spyro the Dragon is basically the protagonist of Spyro the Dragon, this space media game thing. You can find it up on the Wikipedia, just feel free to look at it. Basically, though, this game is developed by Insomniac Games, and it's one of the first games on the PlayStation 1 to actually be developed specifically for it, where the engine utilized actually allows different rendering types of objects from different distances. It's one of the first PlayStation 1 games around that incorporated the engine in which it actually uses a level of detail structured type thing. So depending on how far away things are, they will still be rendered, but they'll be rendered in different details. As you'll notice in the worlds upcoming, and also even in this world called the Artisan world, which is one of the many hub worlds in the game, you won't actually notice fog in the distance, which is fairly unusual for open-ended games for the PlayStation 1 era, because most games at this point that were developed with a different engine usually had fog showing up. But anyway, the game is basically about the protagonist, Spyro the Dragon, and the antagonist, Gnasty Gnorc, or Gnasty Gnorc for you English major grammar Nazis out there that need to defeat everyone's thing on the internet.
Where's Gnasty Gnorc? I'll torch him.
Keep your horns on, Spyro! You have much to learn first. Do you know what the dragonfly following you is doing?
No, don't tell him. Don't tell him, man. It's the secret of the universe. I'll tell him in a minute. Don't worry. Damn it! Now I've messed that up. I have to wait. But, basically, the protagonist, Spyro the Dragon, is the only dragon that has not been frozen in carbonite, LOL, by Gnasty Gnorc. So, we need to take this and free all of the dragons, all 80 of them, that have been frozen in crystal by Mr. Gnasty Gnorc. And along our journey, there are several different objectives that we can accomplish whilst doing that one main objective. You need to rescue approximately 10 dragons per world in order to be able to progress into the next hub world area, but there are significantly more than that as you go through. As you actually go through the levels, you'll find that there's more than just 10 in every world. Like, I think in the Artisan Hub world, I think there's actually more like 15. I don't really know exactly the exact number in each world per se. I just know that there is considerably more dragons. There are considerably more dragons than actually get shown off in each of the hub worlds that are, you know, more than there's just the requirement for. But anyway, without further digressions, this is one of the most unique levels of the game, actually, because this is one of the things the developers included to kind of give you the element of free flight. And these are kind of fun to play around with because you'll find yourself endlessly trying to accomplish better times with these types of stages. Because the premise behind them, as you can kind of guess, is there are 4 separate categories of 8 separate objects that you need to, obstacles that you need to either fly through or destroy. Like these are chests, you destroy the chests. fly through gates and checkpoints, etc., etc. And basically, the faster you can do it, the higher score you'll get, kind of. Basically, the premise behind this is first-time completion. It gives you gems corresponding to the color of the items and obstacles that you complete. So, for instance, we're going to get red gems out of this, green gems out of this, blue gems, and yellow gems. And the value of the gems correspond to the color of Sparks the Dragonfly, which is the little guy that that one dragon was going to mention to us, actually. Now, Sparks acts as your health meter, so for those kinds of levels, you don't want to fall in the water, because you'll instantly die and have to do it all over again. Because dragons can't swim in this game. I don't know why that's the case, they just can't. But anyway, that should give us 300 treasure, and the way Sparks works is, he basically is your health indicator, as I mentioned, and the way in which that works is, if you get hit, basically, he starts out as gold. As you saw, I got hit already when I fell in the water. He turned from gold to blue. And that's kind of the way the value of gems works in this game, where the most valuable gem is a purple gem, which is very rare to find, actually. It's a very rare gem to find. But if you can find it, good for you. But, there's purple gems, and then there's gold gems. Purple gems are worth 25 treasure. Gold gems are worth 10. Blue are worth 5. Green are worth 2. And then the red ones are worth only 1. Now, another thing, and also that kind of corresponds to the way Sparks loses energy and whatnot. So if you have maximum health, which he now has, he's gold. So that means he's perfectly healthy, ready to go. We have maximum hits. And as you take damage, he'll gradually change color until he changes green. And if you get hit one more time after he turns green, he'll actually disappear altogether. And if you take a hit after that, well, you can kind of do the math, and you will kind of sort of die. Hi, Oswin.
Psst, Spyro.
What? What? Damn it. They never tell me these things. Excuse me. Oh, so unprofessional. Now, as you saw there, I just picked up a key. Keys are actually fairly interesting and important to certain levels of Spyro. And why is the camera not adjusting like I asked it to? Oh, right. I'm just going to pop into the options menu because you can change between a passive and an active camera. The difference between the two is that the active camera constantly follows behind you and looks where you're wanting to go. Normally I advise against going into options menus whilst doing Let's Plays, but since it's a fairly important control feature that people, it drastically changes the feature and way the game plays, I kind of show that in there. But the keys operate basically in that way. There is one exception to using keys. Keys are usually for opening up chests like that one. Since you cannot ram them and you cannot flame them either, you need a key in order to be able to open them.
Oh, it's you.
Well, screw you too, man! I'm not gonna rescue you next time if you're gonna be that way. Jeez. Be a little bit more nice to me. Freaking ass, you hurt my feelings. Hey, bro, no. Don't try that. Don't try that. But anyway, if you're wondering how you can actually get Sparks' health back, you have to kill froggies. You have to kill chicken. You have to kill sheep. Don't ask me why you kill those types of things, because when you do this, watch what happens. They turn into a butterfly. So that just goes to show you, the people at Insomniac Games were probably on a massive LSD trip upon building that mechanic, and decided, we're gonna turn frogs and stuff into butterflies upon their death, so that A, it doesn't make sense, but it's the way the dragonfly gets his health back. It's kind of weird, but it's an acceptable mechanic because, well, it's Spyro the Dragon, man. It's not supposed to make sense. He plays a midget dragon. Oh, wait, sorry, dwarf dragon. A wyvern, LOL, for all of those who, have the dragon terminology down. Don't try and correct me. I'm not trying to impress anybody with my immense knowledge on how dragons work. If you know the anatomy of a dragon, good for you. I don't really care. Hey, Darius here is going to tell us the obvious.
Big enemies like this Gnorc with the club cannot be charged.
But a quick flame, that should do the trick. No, it really shouldn't. Anyway, now that we're done with this level, we could finally return home, because that's what we do on a regular basis, because we can. But this is, if you haven't gathered already, this is going to be a 100% based Let's Play. So I'm going to do my best to collect all treasures, find all 80 dragons, and collect all the dragon eggs throughout the entirety of this game, which is going to be one heck of a challenge, but I am up for it. So let's just get into the next area, Stone Hill. Now, one of the best things about this game, in my opinion, is just the fact that pretty much every level and every hub world introduces a new mechanic. Specifically every world, actually. Well, every level, I mean. Because worlds have levels in them. Duh. Because the way in which it works, now you have a completely new set of enemies, and this works in literally every world. They very rarely ever reuse the same enemy twice, and if they ever do, they change the statistics of the enemy, and they change its weaknesses and make it so that you have to kill it in a different way in order to be able to actually defeat it. You'll never see the same enemy twice in the same world. There's a huge enemy variety, and that is what makes this game absolutely fantastic. I want some Linder chocolates.
When you free a dragon or step on one of their platforms, you're saving your progress. That could be useful if you run into trouble. Not that you ever run into trouble, Spyro.
Of course I do. They're called walls. They hurt a lot. But yeah, so what Linder Chocolates just mentioned there was basically the main essence of the dragon pads is when you save them, it acts as your checkpoints in a sense. Stupid ram. Don't try and ram me, bro. Don't try that, man. Don't no. But basically, if you try to ram, try to ram a ram, it works apparently because your dragon horns are more versatile than their stupid curly back horns. I don't know. Still, now enemies like this, I'll get back onto what I was mentioning there. Enemies like that, in the future, you're going to want to avoid trying to ram charge them because some that are tall like that won't actually die to them. You'll just get pushed back for some reason. Because even though they're tall and lanky, they can't actually die by the regular means of just ramming the hell out of them. So unfortunately, you need to come up with a different path and method of dealing with that. Now you heard something over there. That's a pretty important bit right there that we're going to need to work on. But basically, I'll explain the dragon pedestals here after we've rescued Gildas.
Spyro, my friend.
You need to lay off the beer, man. Sorry, but you do. Anyway, basically, the way the dragon pedestals work is upon saving a dragon, as I said, that acts kind of as a checkpoint in a way. And it's an autosave checkpoint where, upon doing this, it'll save your progress throughout the level. So if you happen to die somewhere, all of what you've completed so far, all the enemies that you've defeated, all the treasure that you've collected, etc., 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 gets saved. That's a thief. Thieves have stolen dragon eggs. Chase them, beat them, do good things, because they're bad. They're bad, they're annoying. There are some specific thieves later in the game that actually do get to be fairly aggravating because of the paths that they take. Usually you'll want to like chase them and ram them down when they, follow their paths and ram them the best that you can. And sometimes you'll actually have to make exceptions to this rule, and you will actually have to flame them rather than try and ram them, because they take some pretty bizarre paths, and some of them are a little bit harder to follow than others. So some of them, you'll want to actually flame them rather than, run after them. But, now the way that dragon pedestals work, in addition to just kind of saving your progress, you can save your progress at them manually as well, if you feel so inclined to do so. So all you need to do is literally just go to one, stand on it for about a second, and then it will prompt you, do you want to save your game here, or do you want to replay the dragon that was last at this pedestal, or would you like to just continue and not really bother with anything like that? So it gives you a couple of different options that you can take, and it's pretty awesome like that. Alright, so now we got the key. The chest is fairly well hidden in this level. It's not like supremely well hidden. It does take a little bit of spelunking around to find it, but it's no real big issue. It's not hidden like under the map or anything.
After you freed all the dragons, pass through this fancy vortex thingamajigger. It'll take you back to the Artisan home. But first, let me tell you a story.
No thanks. See ya.
And as you noticed, it's kind of funny, but the same dragon model was reused from the guy that was in the interview at the beginning of the game. But then, whoa, it's on now, bro. I'll burn your butt right there. But basically, the same dragon model was used from the beginning of the game. You don't see that dragon model again until the end of the game, I think. But the fact that the voice changed is kind of funny, in my opinion. Anyway, we got one last dragon down here, and there's the chest. No, come on! Come on! You're stupid. You're stupid. Open up for me. Thanks. That was pretty stupid. Gavin! What does Gavin have for us?
Watch the dragonfly, Spyro. His color indicates his power. When he eats butterflies, he stays strong. Like me.
Sure.
It's just kind of funny, though. The previous dragon model, as I mentioned, was reused, even though the voice changed. So I don't know if that's the same dragon as it was in the interview, but it's kind of weird that the voice changes all of a sudden. But anyway, we should be done with this level. Yes, we are. I don't know why I had to check that, actually. We're pretty much done. The reason I checked is because I usually forget, like, 1 or 2 treasures, and I get pretty upset with myself, so I cry to myself to sleep the night that I record this. But since I didn't miss a single treasure, I cannot cry myself to sleep this time. Yeah, scared crapless. Anyway, I'll see you guys back in the next episode. If you really enjoyed this content for whatever reason, please feel free to subscribe. If you want to keep up to date with stuff happening in and outside of my Let's Plays, feel free to go to my Twitter or my Facebook. And if you're interested in live streams where I play games that aren't on YouTube and stuff like that, feel free to follow my Twitch TV link, and that's pretty much all you need to know. So, the choice is yours. Make it. If you do, you'll get a secret ending that you don't actually have to pay for, and then, yeah, basically that's that. So I'll see you guys later. Bye!